there, my name is Kelly Dale with Off the Beaten Path, which is located in Forest City, North Carolina. I'm so excited today because this is the first time filming in my new office, which it's in our store, and it used to be a what did this used to be? I think it used to be actually a dressing room. So it's very, very small, but I have a space of my own finally, and I'm so excited. But anyways, so today I'm going to extend that halo that we did last week. We did the halo bracelet. So today I'm going to show you how to make the double halo bracelet. What you need to do to start the project is you need to do 2 complete halo pieces. Now there's something that I changed at the very beginning and end. It doesn't have a clasp on it yet, so I want to show you when I actually get the video started what to do on those ends so you'll know. But 2 complete pieces, and then what we're going to do is we're going to put those 2 pieces together and then connect them down the center. Now this bracelet is really cool because you can make it into a double, you can make it into a triple, or if you really want a super wide bracelet, you can make it into a quad style bracelet. And you'll do all of them the same way, just by the way that we connect it in the center. So to make the double, which I'm going to show you today, you're going to need 14 8mm rounds. Now your round beads that you use in this project can be gemstones, pearls, faceted beads, whatever you want. You're going to need about 136 4mm rounds, 98 3mm bicones, 24 3.9 Montees, about 3 to 4 grams of a size 11 seed bead, and it's going to take between 9 to 10 yards of a 6-pound fire line. I'm also going to use 6 4mm jump rings. Now you can use a 4 or a 6, but I would not go over a 6. And you're going to need 1 size 12 beading needle. The only other thing that I'm going to be using for the project is a 3-strand box clasp, and I'll show you a close-up of the clasp that I'm using so you can see it. It just has to be a pretty good size clasp for this bracelet. You can also probably use a 3-strand slide clasp. It just needs to be a little wider than what we would normally use. So I'm going to get my table set up, and then we'll get started on the project. The first thing you'll want to make sure that you do on the end of each bracelet or each piece is that you want to finish off the end. Instead of putting on your clasp, you'll have 2 seed beads, your jump ring, and 2 seed beads. And this is going to be on each end of the piece. Okay, so you will have 2 pieces, 2 completely separate pieces that have the endings just like this. Also, I promised to show you the box clasp that I'm using today. This is the box clasp. I've got this in the silver and the gold, and basically you push this down and pull apart, and it's a nice width apart that's perfect for the width of this bracelet. So that's my box clasp that I'm using. So I'm going to take my 2 pieces and I'm going to lay them side by side, just like this. And I'm going to start by threading my needle with 2 to 3 yards of fire line, and we're going to be working on this left side of the piece. Once you have your needle threaded, you will want to thread on 1 stop bead. So I've got my stop bead all the way here near the end of the thread, and I've just used a little size 11 seed bead with just a short tail, because the only thing you're going to use it for is to tie off here in just a few minutes. I'm going to start on this left side, and I'm going to take the needle and I'm going to go up through the 4mm on the left side, just the 4mm. So you're going to squeeze in there. And pull the thread all the way till the stop bead hits. I'm going to pick up 1 11, 1 4mm, and 1 11. So an 11, a 4mm, and an 11. I'm going to come to the 4mm on the right hand side, so the adjacent side right here, and I'm going to go right down through that 4mm. So that when you pull it, you will have a connection with the top of the 4mm. I'm going to pick up the same bead, so I'm going to pick up an 11, a 4mm, and an 11. And I'm going to come back over here to the left hand side, and I'm going to pull that seed bead out of the way, so I'm not going through the stop bead. I'm only going through the 4mm. Pull the thread. So that this is what you have so far. You want to go back through all these beads again to reinforce. So I'm going to do a complete another circle, and then I'm going to continue through the 11, the 4mm, the 11, the 4mm, the 11, and the 4mm. So I'm going around to reinforce, and then I'm coming back around so that I'm coming out of this bottom 4mm right here. Once I've come around, I'm now ready to do my little loop here, just like I have here and here. So I'm going to pick up 2 11s, 1 jump ring, and 2 11s. So I've got 2 11s, the jump ring, and 2 11s. I'm going to come back through that same 4mm again, so that when I pull the thread, it's going to make a circle. Continue through those 4 seed beads again, and then back through that 4mm one more time. This just helps to reinforce it, but it also gets you into position to add the next, or to get to the next step. Okay, so I'm through that 4mm one last time. And don't worry, we're going to get rid of that tail here in just 1 second. So right now, all 3 of my endings here look the same. And I'm ready to add my Monte. So I'm going to pick up 1 11, 1 3.9 Monte, and 1 11. I'm going to come back through the 4mm right above the one that I'm coming out of. Make sure to turn the stone so you see it face up. Thread on 1 11, and I'm going to come back through the other hole of the Monte, not the same hole, but the other hole, so that it makes that diagonal through the bead. Now I'm going to put my finger on the Monte and pull that thread. And then I'm going to pick up 1 11, and I'm going to go through this bottom 4mm one last time. And this is going to help to tighten it up too. So I'm going to pull the thread, pull it nice and tight, so that it tightened that back up for me. I'm going to take and I'm going to find that stop bead. So right here is my stop bead, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull that stop bead back. Pull it off completely. Now I'm going to take the needle and I'm going to go through the 11 right next to my 4mm, and then I'm going to tie these 2 threads together and get them out of my way. Get the one out of my way, I should say. So I'm going to tie the 2 threads together. And I'm going to thread a needle onto this little tail thread and stitch it through a few beads and get rid of this little tail. I've gotten rid of my short tail thread, and I'm ready to continue on to the next connection set. I'm going to take the needle. I'm going to come through the 4mm right and the 11 right above it. Pull that on through. Make sure you don't get it caught on anything. Then I'm going to bring it through the 3mm, the 4mm, and then the 3mm on the left side here. So I'm going through the 4mm and the 11. I went through the 4mm and the 11, then through the 3mm, the 4mm, and the 3mm. So that when I hold the two pieces side by side, this is what it will look like. I'm going to pick up one 3mm. I'm coming out of the top of the 3mm here on the left. I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to come right down through the 3mm that's on the right and pull. Pick up one 3mm, take the needle and go up through the 3mm that's on the left. So that it connects now the two bigger 8mm. So you want to go through and reinforce it again by going back through the first 3mm that you added, down through the 3mm on the right, through the second 3mm that I added. I'm going to keep my thumb on it just to keep it in place there. Now I'm going to go through the 3mm on the left so that that concludes my connection circle here. Then I'm going to continue through the 4mm and the 3mm. Now all of this is on the left side, okay? I'm always going through the beads pretty much on this left hand side. Then I'm going to continue on through the 11 and the 4mm. So when I back off now, you can see that I have a Monte connection and then a crystal connection. So now I'm back to a Monte connection. So to do the Monte connection, I'm coming out of the 4mm. I'm going to pick up an 11, a 4mm, and an 11. I'm going to take the needle and I'm going to come down through the 4mm here on the right side. Then I'm going to pick up an 11, a 4mm, and an 11, and I'm going to come up through the 4mm here on the left side. So when you pull it, it gives you the little block here that you need. Now you'll want to go through and reinforce it again, and then when you come back around, be sure and exit this bottom 4mm of our little circle. Once you've done the reinforcement and you're coming out of the bottom 4mm, you're now ready to add your Monte. So I'm going to pick up an 11, a Monte, and an 11. I'm coming out of my bottom 4mm, so I'm going to take my needle and come through the top 4mm. I want to make sure that my Monte is facing upward, and I'm going to pick up one 11 and come through the other hole of the Monte, not the same hole, the other hole, so that it makes that little X shape. And I'm going to put my finger on the Monte and pull. Now I pick up 111 and come back through this bottom 4mm once more. Now I'm going to continue on my circle through the 11 and the 4mm. Through the 11 right above the 4mm. And then through the 3mm, the 4mm, and the 3mm. So through the 3, the 4, and the 3. Pick up 1 3mm. I'm coming out of the 3mm on the left, so I'm going to come down through the 3mm on the right. And then I'm going to pick up 1 3mm, and I'm going to come through the 3mm on the left. I'll reinforce my circle once more, and then I'll continue to stitch through the beads to come out of the 4mm here on the left side, which is next to the Monte. So you'll continue to do your repetitions doing the Monte connection, the crystal connection, Monte connection, crystal connection, until you get to the end of your bracelet. Once you get to the end, you need to be sure to finish off the last center Monte section just like you started with this little loop of 4 seed beads and your jump ring. So continue on making your connections until you get to the end of the bracelet. Once you get both sides connected, now you're ready for the easy part. All we have to do is to attach the clasp. I'm going to take the clasp and lay it right where I want it to be. And I'm going to take and open the first jump ring. So you find the little mark or cut in it. You want to twist open. I'm going to thread in that first loop of the clasp, and then I'm going to twist it back closed. I'm going to find the cut in the second jump ring, twist, and attach the second loop. And then I'm going to do the same thing for the third one. I'm going to grab a hold, twist, thread on the third loop, and close, so that now this side is connected. And then I'm going to open this part and attach it to the other side of the bracelet, so that once you do that, your piece will be connected just like this. And as you can see, it's the perfect size for the bracelet. Now on this one I used 4mm jump rings, and this one I used 6mm jump rings. So you can see there is a size difference there, but it's just whatever you have on hand will work. But now you can see the finished piece and see what it looks like. This is the cocoa and the bronze sample, and then this is the black and crystal AB. So I hope you guys liked learning how to make the double halo bracelets. Be sure to come back next Monday, when on my Must Know Monday, I'm going to teach you how to use these great new binding forms by the Beading Company. There'll also be a really good giveaway on that Monday video, so be sure to watch that. And then be sure to come back next Thursday, where we're going to start on the necklace to go with this halo set. So again, I hope you guys have a wonderful week. We will have the pattern and the 2-color samples that I showed you earlier in the video on our website, which can be found at offthebeadedpathbeadstore.com. Bye-bye!